soul with it. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Dialerix TV back with another video, and I would like to discuss with you guys a very interesting yet intriguing article with you guys that I read, and later on in this video give you guys my analysis with pure logic on why I believe at this point that it's pretty much blatantly obvious how the NBA powers that be and other teams, front offices behind the scenes are contriving against the Lakers to keep them from being a absolute powerhouse and absolutely dominating and shifting the balance throughout the entire NBA. And though many are very critical of Kobe Bryant, I'll revisit an article to you guys of an old interview that Kobe Bryant did years ago, explaining why he believed on the 2011 NBA lockout and why it was made to restrict the Los Angeles Lakers and the Chris Paul trade being vetoed, and why this article resonates with what Kobe Bryant stated years ago. So this article is via the Ringer's Paolo Uggetti. Hopefully I pronounced the man's name right, you guys. I googled the man's name and it translated to Paul Uggetti, but I don't know. But anyway, but the headline reads, which contender needs Andre Iguodala the most? I'ma skip right to the Lakers. It says other teams. Lakers. Unlike the Clippers, who have the best outright defensive team on paper, the Lakers already feature the third best defensive unit in the league. Adding Iguodala would be like throwing gasoline into a fire. With Anthony Davis playing like a bona fide defensive player of the year, LeBron engaged on that end, and Avery Bradley set to return to full health soon, this will make the Lakers even more unassailable. The problem is that they barely have any assets or contracts they could use to match the money left in their cupboard to test Memphis. So if you guys would like to read the entire article, the link is in the description box, but this article never gives us the exact contended team that he believes need Andre Iguodala the most and that will put that team over the top. So I'll break down in my honest opinion why the Lakers may not need Andre Iguodala, but why the Lakers adding Andre Iguodala to their roster would make them much more daily in comparison to him joining other teams that this article mentioned, and keep it brief. So if we get straight to the point, obviously I think the Clippers would in fact need Andre Iguodala the most. As this article explained, the Lakers have the best defensive talent on paper, so adding Iguodala to that Lakers team gives us separation in the talent gap, especially with Iguodala's defensive artistry and his instincts. Finals MVP, his resume and his accolades, just truly speaks for itself. The Clippers bench to me isn't as stacked as the Lakers, especially with a healthy Kyle Kuzma coming off the bench providing scoring punch, other than names like Lou Williams, who is obviously a scoring threat who can't be ignored. But if we go name for name, obviously the Lakers will have the clear edge. As I explained to you guys before the season started, I thought that the Clippers gave up way too much in the trade for Paul George, losing their core foundation on what made them such a great formidable team with the Danilo Gallinari, Alexander, and other pieces and draft picks that they gave up. And with Kawhi Leonard and his load management approach, keeping those players would have helped Kawhi later on in the long run. But with those pieces no longer being there, in my opinion, will take its toll in the postseason. But I'll discuss all that in another video. But my point is, the Clippers need him the most, but adding him, in my opinion, to the Clippers, he will have to exert more energy and have a larger role, and this team isn't really good with in terms of spacing and having great three-point shooters other than Lou Williams and Paul George. If Iguodala joined the Lakers, he wouldn't have to do as much with us having great defensive weapons, especially with our size. And if we're able to add another young 3-and-D weapon with an Andre Iguodala, like a Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, or a Dylan Brooks in a package with Andre Iguodala, and like I've mentioned, with our size, if we're able to bring back a somewhat healthy DeMarcus Cousins, in addition with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Avery Bradley, and Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, it will allow us to have size and balance with a little more youth in the postseason to keep our vets fresh. So when it comes to other teams such as the Rockets, they aren't a great defensive team anyway, with James Harden dribbling up pretty much most of the shot clock. So adding Andre Iguodala to me wouldn't put them over the top. It would make them better, but definitely makes Andre Iguodala work harder. And at this stage of his career, he should be working smarter, not harder. With no other defensive weapons on that team, there's no younger players on that team like a Avery Bradley, and they don't have the same level of defensive talent that the Lakers have. And then there's the Nuggets. The Nuggets are a great team, but I think they lack the star power and a certain Andre Iguodala with those young guys who don't have the level of playoff experience that LeBron James has, or Rajon Rondo has, and other players like Dwight Howard has. And I think that the Nuggets at this current moment aren't playing up to the great level they played up to last season. Then there's the Mavericks. The Mavericks are a great team, but they're clearly not ready and not experienced enough yet. They haven't have great talent, but not enough that where if you add Andre Iguodala into that mix, that he would make them a betting favorite. The Sixers as well, I think they lost a lot of three-point shooting, and adding Andre Iguodala to that doesn't put them over the top, and they're still young. And finally, there's the Heat. The Miami Heat are a great team as well, but also, in my opinion, they're missing another star playing alongside Jimmy Butler. I personally believe that Jimmy Butler is a third star to a team, not a second option. So in certain, Andre Iguodala wouldn't make them top contenders. So which franchise need Andre Iguodala the most? I would say the Clippers. But which franchise will he be inserted in with the most talent that makes his job much easier and puts them over the top? That will have to be the Lakers. But it's quite obvious that other NBA teams and front offices are coming together in their power to make sure that the Lakers don't become an ultimate powerhouse of the NBA. There was an article of an NBA exec who wanted to remain anonymous, stated that NBA teams didn't want Andre Iguodala to pair up with LeBron James and the Lakers for the very same reason I told you guys and what was mentioned in this article, that it will be like pouring gasoline on a fire. So the NBA is doing their best to stop that from happening. And what proves my theory right was this report that I just read, that the Memphis Grizzlies want a protected first round pick for Andre Iguodala. Now come on, people, like really? Like, I mean, Andre Iguodala is a tremendous talent, but at this stage of his career, Iguodala is not worth a protected first round pick. I mean, anybody can understand that. Anybody with a smidget of basketball knowledge would understand that. And this goes to show you guys that other NBA teams and the Grizzlies are doing whatever they can to keep the Lakers from being a ultimate powerhouse. They know that the Lakers gave up their first round picks for Anthony Davis and went all out for Anthony Davis, which is paying off. So that right there kind of eliminates the Lakers. And this goes back to what Kobe Bryant stated years ago when he was talking about the NBA lockout and how vetoed from that Chris Paul trade. And this is what Kobe Bryant stated. He says, the Lakers are not going to make the playoffs this year, and it seems unlikely that they will challenge for a title next year. So if titles are your only goal, why even play these last two seasons? I know what Mitch Kupchak and the Lakers GM tells me. I know what Jim and Jeannie Buss, the team owners, tell me. I know that they are bent about having a championship caliber team next season, as I am. But how could that possibly be done? Doesn't the league's financial system dictate certain limitations? Well, okay, look at the 2011 lockout. That lockout was made to restrict the Lakers. It was. I don't care what any other owner says. It was designed to restrict the Lakers and our marketability. The Lakers specifically, or teams like the Lakers. There is only one team like the Lakers. Everything that was done with that lockout was to restrict the Lakers' ability to get players and to create a sense of parity for the San Antonios of the world and the Sacramentos of the world. But a funny thing happened. Coming out of that lockout, even with those restrictions, the Lakers pulled off a trade for Chris Paul that immediately set us up for a championship, a run of championships later, in which saved money. Now the NBA vetoed that trade, but the Lakers pulled that ass off, and no one would have thought it was even possible. The trade got vetoed because they just staged a whole lockout to restrict the Lakers. Mitch got penalized for being smart, but if we could do that, but like I stated, this is absolutely foul and dirty, but you know, you can't take things personal. It's the nature of the business, but I think either way, in my opinion, it will backfire on the Grizzlies and other teams, because you're basically giving up a first rounder for someone who is just going to walk next summer when his contract is up, which I can't see a team doing anyway. But hey, some teams will get desperate. But either way, Iguodala could end up with the Lakers if he chooses to come here next season. So the Lakers can still get the last laugh in the long run. And like I said, this article goes back to what Kobe Bryant said, and he was pretty much right. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe. I'm out.